And here we are. So we've got a Protoss versus Protoss. It's going to be the conclusion of this semi-final between Saladin and ZeNEX.Yong. You know, Saladin going up 2-0 originally, and then Yong taking it back. And here's Yong, the blue Protoss, at the right. His opponent, the red Protoss, that's Saladin at the left.
Yep.
And the map, Sandshore Mists.
ESV Sandshore Mists. So if we'll take a look at the key features of this map. The first one is, I believe you've called it the helicopter landing pad here.
Yep.
This little area that actually has a ramp that extends into the main, so it's very easy to drop things there out of vision. You have to keep a pylon or something over to watch yourself if you ever move into a drop phase. But the main to natural, pretty typical, pretty easy to take. The main is actually huge. So you have a ramp that's about as wide as the one on Shakura's Plateau. Your third is a little bit farther on. You actually end up expanding towards your opponents, but there are no gold expansions. There's only one ZeNEX tower, so there's a lot of attack paths around, and there are happy face expansions, and actually he made a whole happy face here. If we actually see, even put a little nose in with cracked ground there, so happy face, but these are actually islands.
Yeah.
That are around the outside.
Yeah, and the game between Saladin and MVP Tails on this map was epic. We had a straight-up base race like the game 3, but then Saladin decided to hightail it to one of the islands with his warp prism and just bunkered down and basically won the game outright by staying on the island. So the islands came into play. The other feature about this map that makes it really interesting, I think, is the fact that there's 3 attack paths right through the middle.
I think it's the Space Shark, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Space Shark is pretty cool too, man. But the 3 attack paths right through the middle, with the main one being the middle through that tower, and then the one in the north and the one in the bottom, makes it so that you can have a lot of circular base trades and a lot of different battles occurring on the map at multiple times. Similar, I guess, kind of to Metalopolis, but even more hectic than Metalopolis, if you can imagine that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because you do have that open path through the middle. It's as if you took those 2 ZeNEX towers in the middle of Metalopolis that are around the golds and just made it a connecting path that you could actually walk through. So.
Exactly, but it's not so open that Zerg is overpowered. It's open just enough, and I swear to you, there was a match there that we had that just had 5 or 6 different little micro battles going on at the same time, and we had a couple of those. I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
I know which game you're talking about then. So you have Saladin gas stealing, ZeNEX.Yong gas stealing. They have switched colors again, so we apologize if we misname someone or call them the wrong name. But everything opening up pretty standard from what we've seen the past few games. Both players putting out a Zealot so they can clean up that second gas. And we're just going to have to wait and see if players want to forget or if they go right back into those robo builds that we saw last time. We're not really robo builds, but Blink Stalker builds robo just being used for vision. And
this is actually the map where Saladin started to use, or at least we noticed that he started to use that warp prism, bring in the sentries and the immortals, blink the stalkers through the helicopter landing pad or helicopter landing pad, whatever you want to call it, and he basically force fielded the ramp and destroyed and gutted the inside of the enemy Protoss's main. And that's where he kind of really became big in my eyes, at least. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him possibly busting up the same strategy again.
Okay, you know, most of the time I don't support Taylor's QQing when it comes to other races. We know that Taylor's a little bit Terran biased, right?
Yeah.
But who decided that a simulator should have 900 hit points? That just took an absurd amount of time for those units to take down. That is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion.
I think someone just forgot, man. I honestly think one of the coders just forgot that Protoss has shields, and the simulator's essentially have double the HP that everything else has.
450 makes gas steal so
Oh, he's going for a Stargate!
Yeah, he is. So he's wanting to pull off a Stargate strategy. It didn't work in game number 2 because it just, there wasn't enough there. In game number 3, of course, it went to a base trade situation and he wasn't able to realize it. But now he says, yes, I am actually going to use this. It's going to go up against 3-gate Robo.
Man, I think Saladin is just going to straight up win this game. Because Saladin has never deviated from his build, except the one time he went for the 4-gate. Usually he goes for that 2-gate robotics facility, adds on a 3rd gateway, and his go-to is the Warp Prism Sentry drop into the main, force fields to ramp out.
And there's the Twilight Council for Blink.
He's doing it. He's going for the Twilight Council. I think he's going to go for the robotics facility. He has a robotics coming up. He was scouted, but his go-to is that play. Now, if he can get inside the main and do what he does best, I don't know if this Stargate is going to be all that effective. I think Saladin has a distinct build order advantage right now.
It looks like this is just going to be Phoenix. I would imagine Immortal to stop the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to find out here in just a bit. Not that much of a ground force out for Yong at the moment, but that is growing for Saladin as he's moving up to his 4th gate. He's going to get Blink here in just a bit. He's almost at that 150 gas, 145, 153. There's Blink.
And the reason why it's so effective on this map, the build that I'm talking about, and I know I'm gushing over Saladin a lot.
No,
right
it's
here.
fine. It's fine.
I just think he's a smart player, you know?
Sure,
I get to gush. The reason why on this map it's so good is because of that landing pad.
Yeah.
You blink right up in there, and then you can walk right into the main. So that's exactly what Saladin's going to do right now. Would not surprise me to see him make a Warp Prism, although the Warp Prism can be killed off by the Phoenixes here. So now we have an interesting dynamic, which we don't really see all that often. So let's see what happens when these 3 Phoenixes make their way into the main.
And Saladin was watching the map. The Phoenix has taken quite a bit of damage, but it's going to back out right away.
Yeah.
It's actually going to circle around again. I guess it wants to continue with a little bit of harassment, but looks like Saladin's pretty privy to this.
Yeah.
Not too much damage should happen.
And he's not making a Warp Prism anymore either upon seeing these Phoenixes, so great reaction timing from him. I don't think he needs to, necessarily. If he just sticks all through to Stalkers, he can just blink right into the main. He doesn't need to ferry an Immortal in. He doesn't need to ferry Sentries in. He could just basically, you know, blink right in and teleport into the main.
And it looks like the Phoenixes are actually going to get in
One probe
just before the blink finishes, so those Stalkers are still a little bit immobile.
He's expanding.
That's odd.
That is very odd.
Because I think if he expands, he gives his opponent time to actually make this build work.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if anything, he gives ZeNEX.Yong a chance to have a window to move in and attack. He picks off a Sentry. That's a key pick. But I think that expand...
Oh, he could have blinked and actually picked off 2 Phoenixes.
I agree with you right there. He missed an opportunity. But there it is. He spots the expansion now. It's on Yong. What does he want to do? He's making a Void Ray right now. I think he's just going to go one
try
base.
And kill his opponent.
Yeah.
Look at that. 4th gate just came up. 4 gate, Stargate, Robo, all producing units.
Yeah.
You don't do this unless you're just going to kill your opponent outright because you're not expanding out of this. This is almost too much for 1 base economy to support.
But he has a window of opportunity. Typically, the best time to go ahead and attack into opponent's expansion is right when that expansion comes up, before he gets any benefit whatsoever. And Yong realizes this. He's got a couple of seconds here, and then he's going to make that push. At the same time, there's also a pylon going down in the bottom of Yong's main. That's interesting.
All right, so we're going to see if Yong decides to move out here in a bit. Imagine he is.
Yeah, he's got to push about now.
Yeah, he's going to have 2 Void Rays with this attack. He's got a lot of air units. He's got a ton of Zealots, which are actually going to do pretty well. They'll just continue to advance forward.
He's walling off the front. This is brilliant.
But is it going to be in time? How many workers is he sitting on? Just 31 at the moment.
I think this is great.
Supplies are actually in Yong's advantage, though.
With the
he
sentries
has a ton
there.
of units. Yong has a ton of units, though, man.
Yeah, exactly. And with the sentries there and the wall off, he can buy even more time to get additional benefits out of this fast expansion. And I think he'll be okay, man.
Oh, I don't know. This is going to be so close, though. Yong's going to make his way up here in a bit. He's got an Immortal thrown in. That Immortal's going to prove to be quite useful. Photon Cannon coming in at the back as well. Oh, man. This Forge is actually taking a lot of damage.
And he's making cannons before that Forge goes down. He's going to get 3 off. Then the Forge falls. Void Ray's getting a charge. That's not good.
No, those Void Rays are actually doing an immense amount of damage to that Warp Gate.
And if he keeps that charge going, those Void Rays
Here
are
it
going to be even
comes!
better. The Phoenix have come in. They pick off a couple of Sentries, but the Sentries don't go down, and he force fields the rest of the ground units away. The Stalker is getting a lot of shots off on the Void Rays.
What are they doing?
It looks like he can't get up there. The force field's keeping him at bay, and Saladin holds. I think he's going to make the hold.
I don't know. This is
The cannons have warped in. The cannons have warped in.
Okay, we're going to find out if he's warping anything into his opponent's base here in just a second. 3 cannons are up, yes. So the pylons go down.
The
Those are going
probes
to
are
go
stuck
down
in the
as
back.
well. Oh, they're not getting up there and doing their damage. These Immortals are actually proving to be quite effective. More units warping in now for Saladin. I don't know if he's going to have enough. This is going to come right down to the wire.
I think he may just barely have enough, man. Those Stalkers in the back, along with their Blink upgrade, he can definitely snipe out those Immortals, and it looks like he's going to push that Protoss army back. Brilliant hold by Saladin. If he can pull it off, it looks like he's going to pull back into the cannon. He still has 1 defensive structure he can pull back to. He warps in a couple of sentries, brings out the Guardian Shield. I don't know if he needed sentries there. I think think he needed more Stalkers, and I think that was a crucial mistake, and now Yong is going to... it's going to be so close.
Yong has enough here. I believe Yong has enough here with the double Immortals, and it looks like this base is actually going to go down here in a bit.
I don't know.
Saladin, he's trying to warp in as many units as he can. Stalkers would have been a decent choice. Even a couple of Zealots would have been a decent choice to at least deal out some more damage. But the Sentries, I think I agree with you. They were a poor choice, and there's just no way he can attack directly into these Immortals. They're doing so much damage. He's pulling the rest of his probes. He's already lost quite a few, and they're continuing to fall.
Oh my god, this is so intense. Will he be able to trap the Immortals, though? That would be one small victory here in the face of great adversity. He will trap the Immortals with his probes, so he will get a couple of kills, but those Immortals are slaying the probes. 13 kills and 12 kills apiece, and that is it for Saladin.
And Saladin, after going up 2-0 in the set, GG's out of game number 5, and Yong has taken third place.